Pulse 95 Radio, Yalla Home, Big Hash flying solo today. My co-host is not here. She just landed in the UAE. But man, oh man, I have a special guest on the phone. But before that, let me give you an intro. So this incredible person, me and him were in school together. And life, subhanAllah, moved. I was in Saudi Arabia, he was here. And life circulated around. We worked together in streaming platform and, amazing, of course, music service and Rami. But then now, he actually went on an amazing journey in podcast and launched his own podcast journey called 7awwil. And this is an amazing platform. He asked me to be part of it, and I'm very, very honored, really. I want to talk about this podcast because I think it's really making a big difference. So without further ado, I got the VP of Partnership and Rami and the founder of podcast 7awwil, Rami Zeidan. Hello, man. How are you?
Hey, Big Hass.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm very good.
So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be on the air with us. So I want to get straight into it. Rami, obviously you're a passionate DJ, music lover, obviously. But tell us about 7awwil. What really sparked to create 7awwil?
So I've been a hip-hop DJ for a very long time. Back in the late 90s, I used to DJ hip-hop on radio in Beirut. When I moved to Dubai, got married, got family, got sunk in the corporate world, I sort of disconnected from hip-hop. And the more I started working with Rami, one of the departments that was close to my heart was the hip-hop genre. And I started seeing a completely new vibe. Obviously, it's not something that I only realized, but the whole new sound of hip-hop changed completely. And we started reading and seeing what the youth are listening to, and it seems to us that the youth know Tupac and Biggie, and Migos and Future.
Oh, yeah.
So I felt that there's a much bigger gameplay that needs to be played for us to tell the story of hip-hop. Now, the story of hip-hop is available online everywhere. And there's a lot of English content that is out there. And I thought in a market where it's currently booming in hip-hop, and Arabic hip-hop in particular, and a lot of artists that are really becoming mainstream, I wanted to create the story of hip-hop and go back to the starting point and bring in this culture both in Arabic and English language. And what we found out is the more we started realizing that there is a big audience that didn't know how hip-hop started. Everything is like, whoa, we didn't know that. This is cool. So that sort of got me more and more excited to sort of break it down bit by bit. And I'm loving it. I'm loving how people are engaging. I'm loving how this is all new, useful information for a lot. I love that you're celebrating the hip-hop culture.
100%. And obviously, I want to talk to you about 7awwil is not only obviously a podcast, it's a platform. I'm going to get into that. But one of the reasons and one of the things I personally liked, and maybe you can also add to that, is during our research, you also learned a few things that you didn't know, right? As Rami.
Oh, absolutely. I learned a lot of things. I learned about artists that I've never heard of before. I learned about stories of certain artists that I never knew, about producers and the facets of certain artists that go beyond just rapping. People like Jay-Z and Diddy and Dre, the story behind those three guys is just phenomenal. Mentorship and collaboration, which is a very big aspect in hip-hop, is something that we learned dearly, and we realized that hip-hop really grew by people working together. By people rapping on punk rock, by people rapping on disco, on people featuring each other, by people calling each other to sing together. That is what's growing hip-hop. And in my humble opinion, and we'll talk about that in future episodes, I think this is something that we're yet to see in our hip-hop here in the region. People coming together and working together and producing for each other and doing features and so forth. There's a lot to learn from the history of hip-hop and how it became the biggest genre in the world, from a party that happened in the Bronx in August 11th, 1973. So there's a lot that we can learn from there beyond just the story for artists who would want to listen to this and really take the nuggets of how to create music that really scales. And on the other hand, for fans to realize that, like, I'm a big fan of Tupac, Biggie, and all of that stuff, but there are a lot of people that did contributions to hip-hop, even if it was with one song.
Sure, true.
That really did a difference.
Yeah, that shaped the culture. So far, how many episodes does 7awwil have? Like, how many podcasts?
So 7awwil, the platform is 7awwil in Arabic means to transform. So 7awwil is us choosing topics and just transforming it into simple stories.
Yes.
The first podcast, which is called The Story of Hip Hop, I think we're currently at episode number 4.
Yeah.
We've spoken about the birth of hip hop, how it started back in 1973. We spoke about rappers from the 80s and 90s that people should know. We spoke about female rappers that people should know because the names were very much male dominant. We also spoke about, or we're currently, we recently launched the mentors of hip hop and how and who mentored who and all of that stuff.
I love that. I love that one, and I really.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite. And again, it goes, I think, to you. You're like the brain behind this one in terms of like the angles that we take, how you discuss it. I never really thought about talking about mentors before, like even myself. But it was really exciting. And like you said, I think what's nice about Howell is, and I'm getting this feedback too, is that you really take a story that is really maybe could be complicated, but you simplify it as a podcast form.
Yeah, and the podcast is short, so it's a 30-minute podcast that anyone can listen to. It's very simple format. We're playing music as well as talking, so it's not just us talking all through and through. And we're playing stuff that people have never heard before, like the first mixtape when Eminem was discovered and that sound, the early sounds of 50 Cent, the first song of Jay-Z when he was in the main source song, The Originators with Jazzo. So there's a lot of stuff that we're really surfacing out that have been lost in the archives or people didn't know or people didn't listen to. So I personally enjoy listening to myself at a certain point.
Yeah. Before I ask you a question that puts you on the spot, I just want to know from you. So what's the future for Howell? So far, it's a podcast that we can find on obviously all streaming services. It's on SoundCloud as well and others. And then on Rami, what's nice about it is that you've actually added playlists that goes on with each kind of podcast, like old school hip hop, female hip hop, which is kind of really nice. But what are we looking forward for Howell? We say it's a platform. What can you tell us?
So Howell for me is a new journey to do music editorial or music platform that talks about music in general. This is not available in our world. Our biggest struggle as Rami is when we want to promote music, we have nowhere to go. We don't have the Complex, we don't have the Source, we don't have Hip Hop DX, we don't have all those platforms, Rap Radar. So I want us to create an Arabic platform that tells the story to the Arabs in the Arabic and their native tongue. And what gets me more and more excited about this is simply, if you go to the Howell Instagram page and you look at all the comments and all the likes and all the messages, everybody's engaging in Arabic.
Yes.
And not so. People know hip-hop more than us. They correct us. So today, we put a freestyle with Eminem and Proof. I didn't know that was Proof. I just put freestyle by Eminem, and then 4 or 5 people jumped on the comment. Oh, R.I.P. Proof. This is Proof.
Yeah.
And then a guy came and he threw a verse from a Proof song, and he tested the guys. What do you think this song is called? So they know hip hop. But they're speaking to us in Arabic. So I think we owe it to this region that we create a platform for this region in the Arabic language. We start with a podcast now. We do a vlog tomorrow. We do an event after tomorrow. We relive the back to school event from 1973, and we'll bring that to life really soon. So there's a lot that can happen. It's a hip hop narrative. It's a hip hop platform for me, and we can go in many languages. And I'm hoping that we also get to collaborate with artists, produce a couple of tracks, and really work on taking the learnings from what we're doing and sort of influence the work of the people that are coming up.
I love that. Yeah. Man, again, I said in my intro, I know you since school and you're very passionate, and I think stay like that. And welcome to the podcast world, like we say. I think you're doing really well with how it is. The question that is on the spot before I let you go, and this is something I didn't tell you I'm going to ask you, but your top 3 MCs of all time. Come on, Yalla. I know this is a discussion you don't like to have, but the ones that you like, I'm not saying ranking. Who do you like?
So the 3 people that I really, really, really enjoy, my ranking for me is number 1, Snoop Dogg.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's my number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Jay-Z.
Hello, Allah. Okay.
He's my number 2. And number 3 becomes really tricky. It's a little bit of many, but as I've started to listen to Howell, the Wu-Tang Clan has really started to dig in.
Wow.
So I'm we're sunk in the old school vibes now, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm sunk in the old names. But as we release the upcoming episodes with the upcoming new names,
Yes.
I'll talk about my favorite upcoming and rising talents, or the established talents of today as well.
Okay, in a nice way. I just got a message on the SMS system right here. I think we have a fan, man, and they're saying, what's the next one? Really, 4215, it's Salat and Do. What's the next Howell episode? Can we tell them?
Yes, of course. So the next episode will talk about rappers in 2019. So who are the rappers from this decade? You know, the Drakes, the XXXTentacion, the ASAP Rocky, all those guys. We'll talk about mumble rap a little bit, about the conscious rap, who's remained stuck to the roots, who's brought in the new vibe, the hip-hop aspect of things. So we'll break down hip-hop today, really.
Nice.
So we talked about hip-hop yesterday, and, you know, we'll talk about hip-hop today and break that down.
I love that. If people want to follow Howell, where do they follow? Give them the Instagram.
Instagram is the main one, at Howell, 7awwil.
Nice. Any last words you'd like to say, man? Again, thank you so much. I just called you up and said, let's get you on the radio. So thank you so much for your time. Any last words?
No, man. Thank you for being part of this. I'm really excited about this journey.
Honored.
And we're growing fast, and, you know, bit by bit, we hope we turn this to the ambition and to the dream that we want this to become.
Shout out to you, my brother, and special
Thank you,
salute to Rami for, you know, being part of this, man, and part of the whole music thing. Obviously, this is something that you're doing as well as Rami, but I really salute you, man, as a person. Shout out to Howell. Thank you so much for being with us, man.
What's up, man?
Yalla, peace and love.
Yo,
This is one of the best, the blessed